And here with us now is Behnam Ben Tablu, Senior Fellow with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Behnam, great to have you with us this evening. Thank you for coming on the program. So first on the Iran nuclear deal, how bad are things when the U.S. is relying on Russia and China to restart talks?
Well, it's a pleasure to be back with you. Things are very bad indeed, not just because it's the Russians and the Chinese, as well as the America's more traditional European partners who have had to shuttle back and forth in this previous round of indirect nuclear diplomacy between Iran and America in Vienna just last week, and we'll pick up again later this week. But things are also bad when you look at the nuclear facts on the ground, that Iran, before even beginning this latest round of talks, escalated, particularly in the realm of advanced centrifuge part production. And in fact, during the negotiations, I think around day 3 or day 4, ramped up use of those advanced centrifuges at a large underground bunker that's an enrichment facility. So as Iran is in Vienna, allegedly pretending to be interested in restraining or containing or capping its nuclear program, it's doing things on the ground in its own country that are actually expanding its capabilities. So this hints at what Tehran is really interested in.
Behnam, the stalled nuke talks come even as Iran has started producing enriched uranium with more efficient advanced centrifuges. Is it inevitable at this point that Iran is going to get these nuclear bombs?
It's certainly not inevitable, but the odds are increasingly moving in Iran's favor. There's a whole slew of moves, and I'm very glad you mentioned those advanced machines, which are advanced centrifuges. They basically spin and purify uranium, something that you would need ultimately for a nuclear weapon, at faster rates and with greater output than the older machines, which are permitted in the deal that the U.S. is trying to resurrect. So Iran can actually do more enrichment with less machines because of the capabilities of these advanced machines. That's why they're supposed to be so tightly controlled and regulated. So Iran's use of them is provocative. They're not just violations of the JCPOA. As I said before, they're hints of where Iran may want to go. But taken together with other things Tehran did this year, like a production of enriched uranium to 60% purity, that's a historic first for the Islamic Republic, as well as, of course, production of uranium metal using 20% enriched uranium, tells you that the regime has made some advances that even the Europeans call permanent and irreversible.
Behnam, I know your research focuses on Iran's nuclear program and ballistic and cruise missile programs. Is Iran using the talks as a deadly tactic, and what should the U.S. be doing instead?
Well, certainly the U.S. should be building a coalition for pressure to avoid the sort of thing that Iran is doing now, which is feigning some sort of interest in diplomacy, trying to say that it's all about, sanctions relief, trying to say that it would not have advanced this far in its nuclear program had America not left the deal in May 2018 under the Trump administration. That's basically a lie, because had Iran even conformed to that 2015 nuclear deal forced duration, for the 10-year duration, Iran could legally be doing the things that it is illegally doing today. So that's one of the reasons that the JCPOA, getting this quest to resurrect it, is a faulty quest. So what should Washington do other than the current administration blaming the past administration? There is a lot more. Should be working with its European partners to actually hold Iran accountable at the IAEA Board of Governors. 4 times this year, the Biden administration missed opportunities to hold Iran, along with its transatlantic partners, to account for these illicit nuclear advances. At the same time, it should be preparing to snap back or restore UN penalties and develop a baseline for tougher economic pressure by collapsing the architecture that enshrined the old deal. At the same time, it needs to put forward a really clear military deterrent. The Biden administration has really pulled its punches against the Islamic Republic and the region, where there was basically gifts like delisting the Houthis, which are Iran's terror militia, in Yemen, or doing things like having a very weak response ratio to drone attacks or rocket attacks in Iraq. Iran thinks it can get away with a lot, and it's time for the administration to change that impression.
All right, Behnam, we have to leave it there. Behnam Ben Tablu with FDD, thank you so much.